Once upon a time, stories of war were told by a very small community of voices. Newspapers, radio and TV were the information gatekeepers who made decisions about which images to show, the words that should be used, and events that were important enough for the public to be told about them. People either agreed or disagreed with what they were given, but it didn't really matter because the sources shaping the narrative were trusted and took responsibility for what they put out into the world. Well, that all changed with the rise of social media platforms. They started out as places of friendship, self-expression and community, where people could share pictures of their daily lives and places where they went for entertainment. They were fun outlets, not built to carry the moral and political weight of war. Then along came the smartphones, and suddenly everyone could film, upload and broadcast to an audience of millions. The monopoly, long enjoyed by traditional media, began to crack as everyone embraced what had once been unattainable. Suddenly, all of us could be publishers, designers, singers, whatever we chose to be. And in that big, wide virtual world, finding an audience was really easy. Platforms that once connected people in friendship evolved into parallel, emotionally charged news systems without meaningful guardrails to keep them in check. Social media has outgrown its original purpose, and the distance separating it from legacy media has never been wider. Today, speed is the currency that drives the information flow, and newsrooms, with their verification system of editors, producers and lawyers, are no match against online networks that operate without these basics. Getting out the story while amplifying the noise is what it's all about. Accuracy, a secondary consideration. And if the person distributing information has built a massive following around a very particular worldview, their framing of events will travel further and faster than the careful, verified reporting of mainstream channels. Visibility becomes a proxy for truth, influence a substitute for evidence. We've all heard the saying, truth is the first casualty of war. Historically, that referred to governments and militaries building their narratives for their strategic advantage. Today, that observation has never been truer, but for very different reasons. A 10-second clip can inflame opinions of millions of people before anyone checks whether it's real. Old footage is used as if it was shot yesterday. AI-generated images circulate without context. Influencers act as de facto newsrooms, but without the verification standards. And when untruths are corrected, it's usually too late because the lies may already have taken root. The result is an information environment where truth struggles and competes against emotion, ideology and identity. In this new landscape, conflicts are fought on two fronts, the physical battlefield and the information battlefield. The latter is often the more volatile. We see competing claims of legitimacy and victimhood. Symbolic language and imagery become political shorthand. Hashtags act as rallying points. Emotional storytelling outruns analysis. And the tension between official terminology and lived reality fuels anger, mistrust, and polarization. Social media companies now find themselves in a position they never anticipated. They are geopolitical actors. Their algorithms decide what millions of people see. Their moderation policies shape public understanding, while their takedown decisions carry diplomatic weight. But they also face accusations of bias, censorship, shadow banning, and political interference. Regardless of whether those accusations are justified, the perception alone is enough to erode trust. But let's also not forget that social media has now become a tool for mobilisation. Protests are organised in minutes. Fundraising campaigns spread globally, while diaspora communities use platforms to express identity, grief and solidarity. But the line between meaningful activism and performative posting has become increasingly blurred. We're now living in a world where emotion can outrun evidence and where truth is forced to compete in an environment that is optimised for speed, outrage and engagement. Understanding that shift isn't about taking sides. It's about recognising that the way we consume information has changed more in the last decade than in the previous 100 years. And in the middle of that change, the responsibility falls on all of us, the platforms, journalists, creators and audiences, to slow down, to question and to look twice before we share. Because if truth is the first casualty of war, the least we can do is to try not to help it collapse. For more analysis without the noise, subscribe to this channel.